We gotta, because they think it's not valuable because it's not the white shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And and speaking of that white validation, I was doing an interview the other night, and it was a brother, but he was going back and forth, man. He was really fighting with me about this shit. And then he was, he was disagreeing with everything I was saying, and he was just like, "Yo, I wonder if I had a white man on an interview with us?" And I'm like, why would you worry about what a white man would have to say? What? Because I'm thinking like, what you want him to be on your side against me? You know what I mean? Like this shit was just crazy, man. I wouldn't give a fuck about what they think or what they got to say about our issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Facts. Yeah. They said, I wrote this down on December 31st. Uh, I said, if a black man tells me two things, I can't wait for things to go back to the way they was, get back to normal. And two, we got to play their game. I can't associate myself with you. You
Right,
know,
right. How to play their game.
like, no, man. Like how do you say in Brooklyn? Nah, B. You know what I mean? Like, nah,
Yeah. That shit is crazy.
man, we ain't doing that in 2021, man. Those days should be long gone, man.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
Yeah, but we still got people. Everybody ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's definitely not there yet, man. So I'm not even trying to school everybody, man. It's just some people ain't gonna make it. You know what I mean? We just gotta build with the like minded and
right.
keep it moving, man. Because this shit it's crazy, man.
Yeah, right.
Now, who said it was somebody that said your biggest enemy when fighting oppression is your own people. It's just like,
Mhm.
damn.
That ideology, that mind,
Yeah,
that ideology for sure. Yeah, Nip has a great quote that we reference a lot here is everybody can't go, you know.
right.
And it's hard. We have this conversation a lot because we got people that believe you shouldn't talk about black people at all, like 0%. And I'm under the impression that if I mean, you give a black man maybe 2 or 3 extra strikes, but god damn, like how many more strikes you gonna give him till till both y'all get caught? Like Harriet Tubman say, follow this road to the north. This nigga
Right.
keep on going back. Nigga, go north. You know what I mean? Follow the North Star. So it's just it's a fine balance that we gotta have. But at the end of the day, I think that Harriet Tubman said, "I would have freed more people had they known they were slaves." So,
Right. That was
so
that was really real right there. That was powerful.
yeah, and so we would more black people would be free if they know they were oppressed. You know, uh,
Yeah.
whether it's religion, whether it's your job, whether it's the dream, what's that, the American dream, whether it's politics, Republican and Democrat.
Right.
It's it's challenging to convey that message and still like have that balance, because if you for me, I'll speak for me. When I have conversations and I adamantly disagree and I say like fuck it, you're off to the left, like there's a spiritual like indictment that you put on yourself. You know what I mean? Like damn
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, that may be the right thing to do.
Right. Cause
Mhm.
it's like, that shit takes a lot of energy, man, and a lot of time, and it's just like, God damn,
Man, you
and they still not gonna get it. They not gonna get it at all. You know what I mean? It's just like beating a dead horse.
man, right. And just to give you some encouragement about that, we doing that because I live in this in Nipsey Hussle's neighborhood, and
Yeah.
we're actually doing that with his merchandise. So we're making it like what it's supposed to be. Like
Mhm.
it's the new thing to wear. Like you see all the neighborhood Crenshaw, everything.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, you don't see like Gucci and Louis Vuitton, and you see Crenshaw, all the hoodies, Crenshaw. You know what I mean? So it's so it's a beautiful
That's a
thing.
beautiful thing.
Yeah, and it actually can happen. How do you like
Yeah.
Brooklyn though? How do you like Brooklyn in terms of you got the stadium down there and you had some gentrification going on down there? Tell me your take on that.
Oh yeah, I seen that heavy, man, for like the past few years, man. It was when I was growing up in Crown Heights. The only white people that you would see over there was the police the school teachers and the Jewish people on the other side of the Eastern Parkway. You know what I mean? Like that's what separated us from them. Like the Eastern Parkway, they got all their own schools, their businesses, everything changes as soon as you cross them. You know, those few blocks. Mm-hmm. And now, like in these past few years, man, they all on Kingston. They living on St. Mark's. They everywhere. You know what I mean? And the crazy shit is, I could tell when I'm asking people that still live over there. They not even going to school with our kids still. Like they in that area. You know, like they slowly but surely they want to take over that area and push everybody out. They not. You know, in our neighborhood, we're forced to go to the schools that we go to. Mm. There's no. You know, if I live on Kingston, I have to go to 280 PS 289 and then or 390 because that's my zone school. You know, but while they're here, they got the privilege to go to a school, you know, where they want to go to their all white school, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, so they, you know what I mean. So it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, that is because I would travel to Brooklyn for fights, and I've seen over the past 5 years, like I've been probably going the last 5 years, maybe minimum 3 times a year. And I've seen it, you know, like I typically stay at the Marriott or in that region on Adams, you know,
right.
And it's, man, I'll be like, damn, it's totally evolved.
Yeah, you know? This shit ain't the same no more.
Nah, you see a lot of
definitely wouldn't have moved over there in my era though, when the shit was really going crazy. They knew they was staying out of that shit.
Oh, facts. Hey, let me ask you something. Funk Master Flex said something the other day, or let's say this week. He says Drake is better than Jay-Z.
Everybody has their opinion, you know. Different generations will feel different. You know what I mean? Because if you was there from that time with, you know, when Jay-Z began or when he really made his impact, because he was doing it way before he got big too. Mm-hmm. And you know, you might feel different. You know what I mean? So shit, I don't know. I mean, but Flex is older than me, so
yeah, that's why I was about to
know. You know what I mean? But you know,
and then his cars, you know, his cars are old. He's old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I guess. I mean, I would definitely say that Drake is a dope lyricist, man. He's a dope rapper. And but, you know, everything ain't for everybody. You know, that's not my cup of tea. Like what I listen to, but I can't take that away from him being dope. You know what I mean? He's versatile. You know what I mean? He can do the rapping and singing like nobody. You know what I mean? But when it comes to shit that resonates with me, you know what I mean? If Jay-Z would, you know, I definitely Jay-Z would over him.
So when you write an album, who's some of the artists that you go to get in that space?
Yo, you on the real, I listen to a lot of my old shit and then I go in. A lot of Ruste Juxx-Thoughts. but you know, coming up, I grew up on the greats, man. I'm glad I came up in that time, man. You know, just the KRS-One, the Kane, Rakim, the G-Rap. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And you know, they all help mold me, you know what I mean, into the artists that even in cats from the 90s with Boot Camp, with MOP, that's my favorite group, man. Gangstar, you know, and Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying, Nas, you know what I mean, all of those artists, you know, they groomed me to be what I'm. That's why I could say I'm glad I'm cut from that cloth, you know what I mean? And you know, so they like Scarface, definitely, man. Like I'm still a big fan of hip hop. You know what I mean? Big fan. And you know, that's why I keep my Spotify account live, man, rocking and shit. So I could always get back to, you know, the Fix album or the Mr. Scarface album. You know what I mean? I could just listen to whatever. You know what I mean?
What's Scarface's best album?
Shit. Well, to me, I don't know, you know, with all albums, if you know, everybody might say different, but to me, it's either Mr. Scarface or the Fix. Well, I think I would say the Fix. That's my favorite.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm a fan of the Diary. I actually just wrote it down. That's my like.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely my go-to, man. How influential do you think Biggie and Pac would have been in 2021? Would they have evolved into like world leaders or?
I mean, I don't know. I think maybe more Tupac would be like that, you know, because you know his his history, his family, and everything, and where he was going with it, right? You know, when he was rocking. But definitely both of them would have been like insane, man. Like it seemed to me like they was just getting better and better with time, man. Like the life after death, all of the new features Biggie was doing was just incredible, man. Like that shit was just phenomenal to me, man. I remember all of that shit. Like, god damn. And with
Yeah.
the double albums, both of them doing double albums, like they was very, very influential, man. That's why people still talk about them to this day. They'll still see that those two names together. They be like
Mhm.
Biggie and Pop, Biggie and Pop. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But it would definitely be big.
Do you think you have to live your lyrics as a rapper, or you can just put metaphors together?
Um, I think hip hop is it's you don't necessarily have to live that because it's you know, I wouldn't be mad at, you know, because I've grown up listening to hardcore rappers, you know, that was, you know, supposed to be like what they would call gangster rap, you know what I mean? And then you find out they not really gangsters and shit. But you
Yeah.
know, I understand, I know how to separate music from reality. You know what I mean? So it's the imagination and the creativity for me. You know what I mean? If somebody could say I pulled out a, you know, I jumped off the roof and landed in the street. You know what I mean? Like, and you know they can't really do that, but the way he said it and the way he did it, that
Yeah.
shit was dope as a motherfucker. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's just the way, you know, the way you flow, the way you give it up, man. I
Uh-huh.
just love the music, man. I'm not, you could say whatever as long as it's dope to me, man. And you're original. I love it.
That leads me to ask you about Tekashi 69. What's your opinion on him?
But shit, that whole situation was crazy. And
Mhm.
you know, man, I feel for all those brothers that's incarcerated, you know, behind that whole situation. And you know, I wish that whole shit wouldn't even have went down, man. But you know, it's a lot of people that what they call that shit, they culture vultures, man. You know, he was you know, portraying a gangster life and shit, but you know, people could see that just by especially if you from that element, you already know when you look at him, you know he ain't from that. You know what I mean? But his to me, his lyrics didn't, you know, it I couldn't fuck with that type of shit anyway. I didn't listen to his music, you know what I mean? I definitely wasn't a fan. So, you know, but to each his own, man, you know. Yeah, man. Like I just feel for all of, you know, the brothers that lost their freedom to this whole situation. This shit just
Right.
was great.
Right. So you consider him a culture vulture? Tekashi
Yeah,
69?
definitely.
Yeah. That brings me. I didn't even have this in my notes, but that brings me to like Dame Dash, because he coined that phrase, culture vulture.
Right.
Yeah. What's your take on the business? And he used that term for like Leor Cohen and uh people at Def Jam who did nothing but got checks, according to him. What's How can we eliminate culture vultures? And if you could give like a quick course on the business of music, if you could.
Well, you know, they've been doing that for years before even hip hop was invented, man. You know, you watch you know, you'll read or you'll watch uh documentaries on, you know, just R&B music, rock and roll music. You know, the white people always had the label and they get the people with the talent, you know what I mean, and they exploit them and make all the money they can off of them, you know what I mean, and own all their masters and shit. But you know, the best thing to do, like right now, everybody, you know, you could put your own music out, man. Ownership is the key, man. That's why I really fuck with the brother Master P, man. He's always preaching that, always showing you, you know what I mean, you could do this shit, man, by yourself. You know what I mean? Start your own label, shoot your own video, produce your own music. You know what I mean? Do everything on your own. You know what I mean? And if you don't do that, you get somebody that could do it. You know what I mean? One of your brothers and shit, man. And definitely ownership is the key, man, to get out of all of this shit. Cause we really don't need them. A lot of people might think you need them. You know what I mean? They looking, you know, when you broke and you desperate, you looking for that check and you thinking like, fuck it, man, I'm gonna just do this for the money. You know what I'm saying? But the longevity is what you want. You want to be around 20, 30 years later, people still loving your music and you owning everything, man. And that shit goes to your kids and their kids. You know what I mean? That's serious, man. That's real money. That's
Right.
wealth.
That's wealth. Right. Couldn't say it any better. Were you ever in a deal in your younger days?
Nah, I've had record deals, but every time I signed a contract, it was for that project. I've never signed a record deal where I was, they in control of my creativity or when I could put music out or I mean, it's always for that one project. Every album I did with Duck Down, Soul Spasm, you know what I mean, any independent label that I did a project, but it was always for that project.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I was never, I could always do what I want to do.
What don't
I can't even live like that, man. Like when I used to work, for years, I was never a company guy. You know what I mean? I'm always like, man, I'm doing this shit for the time being. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Doing my, you know what I mean? The music is what I wanted to do. So, I never wanted to, be, I mean, I remember when I was younger and I was like, yo, I want to get signed and shit. But once I got older and I started, getting into the business and shit, I learned like, you know what? I ain't even chasing this shit no more. I'm not running up to labels with my demo and doing all this shit. You know what I mean? To each his own though. Everybody got their different paths.
what outside of that, what don't you like about the music game?
I really can't say just the bullshit, the bad business. You know what I mean? I just wish a lot of brothers wouldn't get get caught up in these fucked up deals and get cheated out of their publishing and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Just besides that, man, I love it, man.